Hello everyone, my name is Tia Bilali and I work as a project manager for creative thinking development in Greece. Today I will be going with you through some virtual prototyping and 3D technologies in the textile and fashion industry and the respective tools used for these technologies. It is important to mention that nowadays, with the growth of demand from better educated consumers, mass customization, e-commerce, there has come a huge need for the textile industry to follow up the consumers' needs. Since 10 years now, manufacturers and suppliers have been making a very good use of their 2D well-established technologies, while the 3D technologies are still in their infancy. However, there are parts in the supply chain of a textile management process where there are the prototype stages that the digital prototyping can take place of the original ones. It is important to understand that, in other words, it can be considered as the digitization of some of the steps followed by supplier and communication in the process of product development. In that case, digital prototyping and supply chain are getting combined, focusing on making the design process a more modern and easier in terms of communication one. Some very well-known use tools for the 3D technologies are specialized CAD programs such as CLAW or CAD, TaylorNova or Browseware, and many others. For example, here we have the image of the software tool called Browseware, where here it is representing a sports garment simulation on the athlete's body and the movement that the garment will take while the athlete is moving. So it's a simulation of an actual garment. And with the constant development of 3D tools, the garment movements are not the only ones that are imposed here. For example, wraps or wefts, or the different textile behaviors in several conditions, such as water resistance, are now available with the click of the hand. In other terms and in other software tools, we have the pieces of the puzzle that make the garment. These would be no others than the patterns, where here, for example, the user of those tools can have full image and access to the patterns of a garment. Thus, the coordination and reformation of the garments can be done digitally without actual pen and pencil. It is important to understand how virtual prototyping will integrate its position in the textile industry. The scenario of an apparel industry with fashion designers who do not use pencil and paper and do not pass these designs to the pattern maker to digitally sew and evaluate them in a 3D model is too optimistic. However, it's a future scenario that will bring the three-dimensional technology closer in the communication of the designer, manufacturer, and supplier, as it has done so many years for other sectors like automotive or aerospace or architecture and industrial design. We see here the process of the garment sample development, a very long one and a very time-consuming and wasteful procedure. The digitization that will be brought by the 3D technology or that has already been brought by the 3D technology is obvious between designer and manufacturer, and it's already automating and minimizing the steps in the process. Following is a creative paradigm of software virtual prototyping from a newly established software technology which is coming and named as CLAW 3D. It enhances the ability to imprint the moves of the body onto the garment and give a scope of natural effect and physical approach. Starting with the features of this software's tool. We have the modular design where there is the configurator or sewing blocks, or where you can edit your block components of the garment. The 3D simulation and layering of a garment with high definition garments or real-time move, fold the patterns or fold the seam lines, everything digitally and in 3D dimensions. There we move on to the 3D garment edit, where the user has access to 3D line on patterns, flatten 3D patterns, single or multi-pins, select single or multi-meshes, strengthen, and many more features. The usage can not only be done on 3D but also on 2D, where the user has access to the actual pattern design in 2D, where he can edit as many features as he would edit by himself on paper. Grading is a feature that is very important and every pattern needs, since the size is not one. However, here in the software, the user can change the size of the pattern with one click. He can also sew and tack the patterns together by choosing the different methods provided by the software, and through a large variety of hardwares and trims, he can add the different parts to complete his garment. After the completion of the garment comes the fining, the tuning, and the fitting check, and of course all these cannot be done without the actual body. In that case, the software offers the opportunity to create an actual avatar, edit the size, the style of the body, the color, the movement, by providing different kinds of actual moves of a human body, and then putting the garment on the same avatar that was created in order to check the behavior of the garment after the movement of the body. The colors and the print layouts cannot be missing from the close software features, where the user can choose different colors for the textile according to the textile that he has selected, and also choose the prints that will be on the garment. Last but not least, as it is opposed in the supply chain and the prototyping stages of the garment making, we have the final stages, which would be the photo shooting and the runway of the garment. In this case, we have high quality renders, turntable images, light properties of the textile used for the garment, and many more opportunities for the user to see what the behavior in the lighting and in different occasions will be of the garment. Finally, we have the runway part, where in the closed software the user can create from scratch his own runway. In conclusion, in the textile and fashion industry, the 3D technologies have come to minimize many steps between the communication of the manufacturer and the supplier. It is important to know the multiple amounts and stages that the smart textiles or advanced textiles have because of their complicated process to make. So it is very interesting to think what would happen and how many efforts would be saved and sacrifices avoided if a big amount of these processes are being completely by a few online tools. Thank you very much for listening to this resource.